Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
What a pleasure to talk with Wally Armstrong. He is an author and speaker. He does so much. There's a movie about a book that he and Ken Blanchard put together. It's called The Mulligan. You can see it. It's tonight and tomorrow night. You can go to showtimes.com to get the location near you. It's all over Atlanta. I just checked. But we want to talk to Wally and see what's up. Wally, how are you?
Great to be on your show.
It's good to talk to you right before we went live. And if you're watching Facebook Live or YouTube Live, all those books back there, most of them have been written by Wally, and most of them have been read by
read by Wally. Yeah.
There's maybe about there's maybe about that many, and I can't figure out.
Well, Wally, we appreciate you, and let's talk a little bit about the book before we get into the movie.
Yeah.
Now, you and Ken decided to sit down. Well, what got you and Ken together to in the beginning to write this thing?
Well, in the late 90s, I invented a game called Snag, which was a kid's game. It had tennis balls and plastic clubs, and it became the mainstay for the first tee. So there have been, I think, 10 million kids that have learned golf through this game.
Wow.
And Ken had endorsed my first book called In His Grip, which sold about 350,000 copies. And I had met him. And we thought, well, it'd be great because he does so many corporate team building things. We'll send him out some of this kids' equipment. And we had adult clubs. And maybe he could develop a corporate team building with it. And he got the equipment. He says, yeah. He says, when can we get together? So one of the investors in that game was from Chicago and owns his own golf course, Mr. Rich Harvest Farms in Chicago. And he invited everybody in. Ken flew in. At that time, I was working on a book about a corporate man and an old pro that he meets. And the old pro begins to talk to him about a mulligan. And I asked Ken, would you possibly be interested in a movie about an old pro and about second chances, and that, Jesus was the greatest mulligan of all time? And he goes, oh, I like that. I really like that. I want to do this. That's really great. And so we met together 2 weeks later in Callaway Gardens and started banging out the book. And we really had a number of people write it. We took some retreats with men to Pine Valley, different courses. We'd send them the manuscript, have them read it, and then we'd get together after golf and sit around, and then they would give us feedback. And so Ken did it about 3 times. I did it about 4 times. And so the book kind of grew. And ultimately, he took the book up, what we had put together, up to his cottage in Skaneateles, New York, and spent 2 days and just wrote it. And it came out really great. So Thomas Nelson bought the rights and had it for 5 years. It ran out of print. And 2 years later, actually, I was at the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington having lunch in the lobby in the restaurant there. And I heard someone talking about golf. And I turned around and I said, you're talking about golf? And he said, yes, I'm a golf pro. And I said, well, I did a book called The Mulligan with Ken Blanchard. And his wife perked up and said, I'd like to see that book. I am the new president of Zondervan.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So I got her a book and they republished it. And,
Wow.
and then it went out of print again, and it sat around for 2 years. And the only way they printed it was a paperback. And I was the only guy that could get it. So I was just using them to give out to people. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good run. Little did I know, but a movie producer got the book, Rick Eldridge, up in Charlotte by a friend, read the book. The next week he's in Orlando and he has a tea time in front of my tea time.
Oh, wow.
In Winter Park on a little 9-hole course.
Huh.
And so I walked up and he was there on the tee and he goes, Wally, is that you? Would you be interested in a possible book? So I really feel that was a God thing. I tried to push the book so hard, and finally kind of said, okay, I'll just take the paperbacks. And then it was like God said, okay, I'll take over from here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the Mulligan book, I like to say it got 2 mulligans.
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, there you go. That's an incredible story.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Huh. Now, Wally, tell us a little bit about your background. Let's go back a little bit. You are a
Oh,
golf
wow.
pro as well. Love to play golf. Tell us a little bit about how you got into this.
I played college golf at the University of Florida, from Indiana, and when I got out of I had my graduate degree and master's degree. Then I went in the Army for 2 years during the Vietnam War, and then I tried to qualify 3 times. And I became a rabbit. There was 2,000 guys for 24 spots, and all that does is it gives you the rights to go out and try to qualify on a Monday. And then if you make the top 60 money list that year, then you're exempt. So fortunately, my first year in 1974, I made the top 60, and then I was able to continue that and played 320 tournaments on the tour.
Wow.
After the tour, I really wanted to do things with my kids. I had a 10-year-old son, and we started doing clinics together for churches. And people said, that's a great picture, a dad and a son learning and teaching golf and sharing their faith. So I did the first golf instructional videotape back then, and it was for kids and dads to learn golf together. And so that's been my passion for many years, is to create tools, books, games to get the parents back, teaching golf and learning golf with the kids. So so I did that, and I always was working with kids and creating things. My second son, when he was 10, he came up with the idea of having a kids club like a Big Bertha. So he came up with the name T-Rex, and Titleist bought the rights and created a whole line of clubs for kids.
Wow.
Called T-Rex Kids Clubs.
That's awesome.
But they only lasted a year because Titleist bought Cobra. And so that's when I had a chance to invent this game called Snag, which is with the tennis balls and the clubs, because we felt we could bring the game to the kids rather than trying to bring the kids to the game. And so we have the Payne Stewart Kids Golf Foundation now. We're going to take this game into hopefully and do about 20,000 kids this summer, right at the churches.
Wow.
The YMCA. So you can take golf in there, let them have fun, the little 3 to 8 year olds, and then talk to them about Jesus. So the Mulligan, get back to the Mulligan. Yeah. That's how it happened. And it's been great to get a lot of responses from the book over the years. A part of the website, mulliganclub.org, is going to share those stories with people so that they can be encouraged to see, you don't have to be a Billy Graham to share your faith. We've had, I don't know, I can't even tell you, countless and countless of people that have given the book out to a golfing friend, and it's turned their lives upside down. And that's just it's something that isn't about me. It's about God using a little book to bring the gospel. And I think because it's written as a metaphor, people can relate the golf terms and the metaphor of golf to life. You need a caddy. You need a plan. So that a lot of the Mulligan book is about that.
We're talking with Wally Armstrong. The book is called The Mulligan. It's now a movie, and you can see that movie tonight and tomorrow night. You go to showtimes.com. You'll find out where it's playing. It is playing all over Atlanta. I checked it out earlier. And I'm sure you can go to mulliganclub.org. It's probably there somewhere. Maybe there's a link there.
Well, the big link is themulliganmovie.com. Of course, that's where they can see a preview of it. And they can get tickets. They can buy tickets on that, themulliganmovie.com.
Okay, well, let's take them there then, the mulliganmovie.com.
Yeah, mulliganmovie.com right now. And that will be for the showing tonight and tomorrow night. And then after that, the mulliganclub.org will be the place to go get information. And in the Mulligan movie, too, because people, once it's in the theaters, then it can be shown and churches could rent it. a lot of country clubs are having movie night now. Business corporations, they could show it. And so hopefully it will continue on to share the good news of the second chance that God offers everyone.
Now, Wally, Pat Boone is just a legend, and he's in the movie. How did you find out who's actually going to be starring in the movie? Did you have any part in that, or tell us that story?
Well, no, I didn't. They hired a gentleman from Atlanta that is probably the top talent guy. So he started looking for people to fill the parts, and but Rick Eldridge, the movie producer, knew Pat Boone personally, so he thought right away that he's going to be the guy to play the old pro, the 80-year-old old pro in the movie. Was really interesting, though. When we talked to Pat, we didn't realize that he has played golf, all of his celebrity tournaments. Of course, he had his own. He always played in his knickers and as an old pro. And he had 17 outfits already that he brought.
Made costuming much
wardrobe in the film. So it's really saved them a lot of money.
Yeah, I bet.
But he wears these beautiful, old pro outfits in the knickers. And of course, he played quite a few rounds with Payne Stewart. And they'd always wear their knickers together in these celebrity tournaments.
Wow. That's awesome. We're talking about the Mulligan, the movie, and you go to themulliganmovie.com to find out where it's playing near you. It's tonight and tomorrow night. You've seen the movie already, Wally. How'd you feel about it?
It's pretty amazing. I mean, I kind of cried through the first two or three. Yeah, because it's such a picture of life. I mean, I've experienced it. I've got caught up in my work and traveling, and it's so easy to get all caught up in who you are and what you're doing. And it's very easy to lose perspective of the things that really matter in life, like your family and friends. And so I think it will speak to a lot of people. And it's a family movie. The wives love the movie. I've shown it to my grandkids first in our house here. I had the 4 grandkids over, the 2 14-year-old twins, and then a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. And they were kind of moving around and kind of talking when it started, but getting towards the middle, it got really quiet. And then after the movie, they said, "Pops, that's really a good movie."
And you said, "I know."
Yeah. So, I think, I see myself in the movie a lot, in this corporate man that Ken and I created. And of course, he's been a lot in that. He was in the corporate man's shoes for many years as a corporate man until he read a book by Bob Buford called Second Half, and that turned his life upside down, because he went from being successful to a life of significance. And of course, that's what this book's all about. Is it doesn't matter where you are in your life, how bad you've blown it in a relationship or business or whatever. There's always an opportunity to have a second chance, and God offers us the ultimate mulligan, which is second chance to be reconnected with him. And that's what the main underlying theme is in this movie. But it's done in a very tasteful way. It's not, it doesn't push people away. I think it will draw people in to say, hey, there is a way that I can have a second chance and make my life really be significant and count.
Wow. Can't wait to see it. Mulliganmovie.com. TheMulliganMovie.com is the place to go to find out where you can see it again tonight and tomorrow night, or you can also find out all the details at mulliganclub.org and see some stories, see some videos of Ken, and also of Wally and everybody else, and find out more about how you can get involved with the Mulligan Club.
Yeah, and Wally, I think we got a few minutes. You want to talk about that devotional that you showed us before we started?
Well, one of the things that the part of the movie is that when you people think a lot of times that, well, I just need to invite Jesus into my life, and then I need to start working and be the kind of person that I need to be. But I think they missed the point that God doesn't grade on the curve when you receive Christ. He throws away the scorecard, and he just wants to be your friend and your companion and to walk with you. And I missed that for 34 years of my life. I was this human doing for God. But so what we've done is we've written this 52-week little journal for people to start, taking their lives and walking with Christ. And they may be a brand new person that's met Christ through the movie, or they may be one that's had a relationship with Christ for years but wants to go deeper. So this will be available on the mulliganclub.org website, and it goes with the book. So it's a perfect tool for an individual to grow in their faith, to journal their journey, or maybe a small group of men at a church, or maybe at a country club. And so what we want to do is really, I think with the Mulligan Club, is to provide a resource center to where people can go and get information on how to grow in their faith and get connected with other groups. So very, very blessed to have that going on.
Now, Wally, what has God taught you personally through all of this, through writing the book, through helping to make the movie, and now the devotional as well? What has God taught you personally through this?
Well, I think it's really it's interesting because I kind of wrote the book so that I could help men that were caught up in their business and work, and hopefully they would get a mulligan. And what's happened in my own life is I realized that I'm kind of that corporate man. So it's really been a wonderful turnaround for my own relationship with my family. And so I think I wrote a mulligan book for others, but I think it's really been impacting me personally, to just kind of step back and say, what do I want to do with the rest of my life, and how can I make my life count? But to realize that, and in the movie, the old pro talks to the corporate man who's separated and he's honest, from his kids. He doesn't have relationships. And he says, you really need to take care of the little things first, and before you get into the big things. And I think for me, it's so easy to get caught up in these big things that I'm doing and to forget about my family and friends. And so it's been a great renewal for me, even with my own family and friends, to kind of sit back and go, okay, I'm not going to start pushing so hard, and try to focus in on the things that really count. And that's, your family and your friends and your faith. So hopefully that'll be an encouragement. It is to me.
Yeah.
So I need to watch it over and over again myself. But thanks for asking that question, because I think that's it's a movie where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. Pat Boone does a scene in there that will just, it's so heartwarming. I don't know if anybody could to listen to the story he tells about his life as an old pro. So and then there's a lot of funny parts to it. It's Tom Lehman is a man. He's playing, the corporate man's playing in a tournament with Tom Lehman in a pro-am, and the corporate man thinks he's a really good player, but he's a hack. And he on this real serious putt on number 9, and everybody's looking at him. Everybody's out of the hole, and he blows the putt, and then blows the second shot, and then he breaks his putter and throws it in a trap. And Tom Lehman comes over to him on the way to the next tee, and he says, "Paul, I've been watching you, and to be honest, you're really not that good to get that mad." And that's
wow.
Wow. That's the breaking part, which as you can see, the Mulligan logo is a broken club. So,
wow.
What it shows is that everyone's life is broken. We're all broken, broken people that need a mulligan. We need thousands of mulligans. But the great thing is when you meet Christ, he just doesn't want you to repair your club. He gives you a whole new life. He gives you a whole new club. You become a new club, and so that's the beauty, is that that's where grace comes in.
Love it.
The mulligan is grace, really. You don't deserve it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
That's
gift.
so good. The movie's called Mulligan, The Mulligan, and it's from a book from Kim Blanchard and Wally Armstrong right there. Wally, what a blessing you are. Thank you for your story. We look forward to seeing the movie, and we'd love to talk to you in a few months, not only about all the folks that have been touched by the movie and are able to get it then probably streaming, right? But also you said something about the snag, I think, coming up in the summer. We'd love to talk to you more about
That's
that.
the Payne Stewart. Go to paynestewart.org.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'd like to talk to you more about that. So, hey, check out the movie. Dan will flash the website up there. It's the mulliganmovie.com. Find out the place where you can see it. It's tonight and tomorrow. Then go to mulliganclub.org. That's got some more details. See the movie, read the books. And again, Wally, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.